That was very snappy. Like you're just like,
bam. Yeah. I'm dancing behind the scenes always when that song's on. It's a fun jingle.
yeah, it's like do 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 do.
But
I feel like I need to scoot over more.
yeah, I tried scooting as much as I could.
Oh,
We're still getting the new studio figured out. But while we scoot, welcome to Let's Talk Lorcana. It's Monday night. This is your best place to catch up on all the goings on of the weekend when it's fresh on Monday night. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. And yeah, unfortunately, Logan, he's usually here on Mondays now, and had a work issue come up very last minute, and so can't be here.
So we miss him this week
Desperately.
Usually.
Yeah, we hear cries in the background. Something we have to do with that. But
so well.
I know. But yeah, so it's been first off, again, everybody welcome here. One person on Facebook, I see you, I appreciate you. And if you have any questions about the show, feel free to ask in the chat. We have some fun guests on. We're going to talk all about the competitive scene, some art stuff, what's coming up in the future, Japan, all kinds of stuff. So and we love hanging out with you. So feel free to ask any questions. But with that,
I love how you keep saying that this is the new studio, but in fact, this is like the OG studio.
That's true. That's true. It's the OG studio that then we moved from, and then we got a new studio, and then now we're back.
Yes.
To this. Hey, Jeremy. So yeah, so still setting up the shelves and the lights and everything else. So
yes,
I don't know. It's good.
So how was your weekend, my love?
My weekend was good.
Yeah. You went to Philly.
Oh, are we diving right into it?
Oh no, I just figured like
let's do it. Okay.
I mean, you want to hear about my weekend?
Well,
I went and got a library card at the local Austin library this weekend, and I did this all weekend.
It is true. It is true. There's I wish I could find a way to show you all. I'm gonna find a way to turn the camera at some point. And Gaten, all the way from Europe, every time when Europeans dial in. Gaten, good to see you. Fantastic content creator, making great stuff. But like the whole wall here is cube storage, and it's got all the Lorcana things. I've got shoulder buddies and like stitch hands and powerline hands.
I'm definitely it's look, giving Courtney from Enchanted Chatter's office. It's giving.
Hold on, before this is but y'all thought.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm doing stuff. There's hats.
This is how things get unorganized.
Yep. I've got a cubby full of hats here. I can do, I can rep Infinity. I can rep.
Oh yeah, I put the hats like close, and I put all the booster packs in case you ever want to like open a booster pack on
Southside Gaming. I can rep the Lorcana Muses. I can rep Chernobog's Crushers.
Or Disneyland.
I can rep. Oh, that's another Southside Gaming hat. Or Disneyland. I've got an ETB one in the box that I haven't opened yet. And then here, just for fun, let's see who cares.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at this
beautiful work.
Yeah, this is a cut. Who who knows what this is. So anyway, so the point is there's cube storage with all the tchotchkes here and stuff, and it's really cool. So Aaron did a lot in the office here this weekend.
Woo-hoo.
So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So that was my weekend.
So I escaped for the weekend. Escaped Ice Age, says Steven. I escaped for the weekend, and for the last like 4 weekends or 3 weekends before this, I've been traveling, doing a lot of Lorcana tournaments.
No. This was your 4th weekend traveling.
Right. I said for the past 3 weekends. Okay, yeah. Before this one. I did a lot of Lorcana tournaments. I did Charlie's, and then PPG in Denver, and then I was out at
we were at Diet Coke.
We were Diet Coke up in Denver, which is a lot of fun.
Denver? No, we were in
Denver. Well, Denver was before Fort Worth, Dallas. They both begin with D.
Fort Worth.
Yeah, Dallas, Fort Worth. And this weekend, unopened Ice Age box. Yeah. And then this weekend I took oh my goodness, 12 hours. 12 hours. Kudos. I think that beats JD's record though. So there you go. That's something we haven't done ours yet at home.
I want the steel puzzle so badly.
Yeah. All right. Back on track, Liam. So this weekend I took a break from competitive play and I went up to Legends Expo in Philly. It was a fantastic convention, a lot of Pokemon there. But Legends always does a really awesome job bringing in artists from different card games. voice actors, etc. But they really made their name getting some Pokemon artists there. So there were some there signing, one doing his very first ever signing, but also the last few years he's brought on Lorcana artists. So it was a really great group.
I am so jealous of who was there, and I didn't get to be there.
I mean, it was so much fun. It was not only, Kendall, who we see quite a bit and has become a very good friend, flying in from LA. Solo Nate was there. It's one of his first conventions, and he's local to Philadelphia, so that was kind of easy. But then we also had from South Africa, Simangalika Sosabaya, or Panda, was there. From Italy, Leonardo G. Michel, the most prolific Lorcana artist, and then all the way from Vietnam, Grace Tron. And just to round it out, I always talk about the Lorcana artists, but just there are a couple Disney animators who were there who are also Lorcana artists. The Bancroft brothers were there sitting side by side, Tony and Tom, and two animators and Tony, a director.
I really want to know if their parents' names start with T as well. With that kind of,
I don't know. Get the Googles. But Tony and Tom were there. Both of them from the largest truck stop in the world. Katie and gang and crew, Wonderland and Sky, are driving back from a tournament there. So so Tony and Tom were there, and it was a lot of fun. Tony, they're both great animators. Tony also directed Mulan, and Tom originated Mushu, and Tony did Pumbaa and Cogsworth were two of his characters that he supervised and or helped originate. So it's like Disney legends who also are Lorcana artists now, and that was really cool.
And then Peter Raimundo,
and Peter Raimundo,
a Lorcana artist yet? Interestingly,
I know, one day. Peter's also wonderful. Has a new book out,
such a sweetheart,
about Rubik's cubes, and has really, really great. So,
and his wife is like just happiness in a human body.
Dorothy is amazing,
lovely. She walks around with a little Stitch hat on her head. The whole, like, I just love Dorothy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it really is like getting together with the different artists and stuff is kind of like a family reunion now. We see a lot of them quite frequently, and it's a lot of fun. So it's always fun doing tournaments, but it's also really fun celebrating like the artists who bring the game to life.
Yeah,
so
for sure,
it's a lot of fun. I did get some sketches. I posted.
I haven't seen them in person yet.
Oh yeah, they're.
You didn't get home until like.
I did post some. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna look right now.
All right. I did post some on the Instagrams and the artist formerly known as the Twitters. But you can, if you head over there, you can check out some of the sketches that we got. And it's
this binder is getting very full.
I know.
I picked it up. I was like, wow, it's
a problem. Sketch binder. So anyway, Stephen in the Green Room says that Tony is a Disney legend and Tom is not officially yet, according to the Googles, and we'll have to verify that. Yeah, interesting.
I feel like since Steven said it, it's verified.
Yeah, it's true. Legend. Well, yeah, I'm legend. But legends in their own right for what they've done for the company. Yeah. And I did do a couple interviews with them though, about 12 minutes with each of them, talking about what it's like to be a Lorcana artist and what it's like originating these characters and seeing them in the game, and then asking how it was working together as brothers on Mulan. I'm hoping to edit those and put them up. I don't know if people are interested. I might, but but nevertheless, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was good. You ever a chance to meet Lorcana artists? Do it.
You should do it.
Oh, since we're talking about it, before we, couple pictures here. So, this my sketch cards there, in a pile that I used for the grams. Solo Nate over there in his area, very well curated. And he's just wonderful. And what else? Oh, some awesome fans. There's G over there. Fantastic content creator. You should follow her on Instagram.
Once again, cosplaying as Shane Hartley, it looks like.
I think that's just that. Maybe
it's just the look.
But there you can see her hanging out with Tony over there. Also, Tony and Tom had original sketches from the films, which was super crazy. And then, just a couple. There's Leonardo G. Michel. I took a shot of all the artists' workspace as if you were from their point of view, which was kind of fun. And I got a hard time from that because I posted them online, and Grace and was like, "Oh, my work area is so messy. You've ratted us out." And I was like, "It's not that messy." But yeah. and then some other awesome people that I got to meet while there. Chris over there on the right, all the way on the right, is a Disney vacation specialist. Chris Hawkins. And if you want her information, let me know, because I mean, it's awesome. We chatted a long time about tips and tricks for Disney and cruises and all that. So
good to know.
if you're going to book a Disney vacation anytime soon, let me know. I'll send you Chris's information and you can connect with a Disney vacation specialist. It's really cool. Yeah.
I tried to convince my stepmom to do that. She said you have to become an official travel agent first.
Oh.
Which, you know, I feel like she would be really good at, but you know.
Yeah. I just one more thing before we start talking more competitive stuff, but look at Chris's business card.
Love it.
Yeah. I never asked what the 3.5 like and where the stats came from. I wonder. But yeah, it was pretty fun. So there we go. Yeah. Anything else from the weekend?
We learned Alina's dance recital dance.
Oh yeah. We did learn.
I don't know. I don't have Lorcana updates from this weekend outside of the insane. We have 12 troves of unsorted cards. So that's going to be a project at some point. Yeah. 12 entire troves of just unsorted cards. That's it.
There's a lot of tchotchkes. All right. Well, yeah, Leonardo is amazing.
He's such a sweetheart.
Does everyone know about the unannounced CCQ in Utah? The unannounced CCQ? What? I don't know. I'm confused. Let me ask Baker about that. All right. Well, let's bring in Baker. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean that should be cool.
Yeah. I have to say, before I said it so nonchalantly, every time anybody from Europe joins us, it's always such an honor because I know how late it is over there and how inconvenient it is. So I have to say that right up front. I appreciate every time anybody joins us from the Europes, but especially Baker because Baker is so busy and just got back this weekend from Cardiff, and the fact that he's taking the time to hang out with us is amazing. So without further ado, let's welcome in the Lorcana villain himself, Baker.
Hi.
Sorry, you got a low-powered evil laugh today.
It's okay. You were so smiley and happy. I'm like, this is so not on character.
Yeah.
I am so tired.
I believe it. Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh no, it's anytime I can make it work, I always will. And it's kind of hit that point where I couldn't be more tired. So I might as well
just deprive yourself of sleep even more. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like we're already I'm already due a pass out, crash out for 14 hours, which I will do at some point between now and when I leave Wednesday night.
So this is going to be a real fun show.
Of course, absolutely.
A delirious Baker.
It's 2 a.m. I've got coffee. I've been on the energy drinks, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun. But hey, I am blessed to be busy.
Okay, so
let's make that clear.
Not non-Lorcana question, but an American question. So at what point do Brits switch from tea to coffee?
Oh, I am very much an anomaly. The vast majority, if most of my friends know I'm crazy. That's not the right way of putting it. If I'm having a casual conversation with someone and I'm I'm having a cup of coffee at 9-10 p.m., they'd be like, what? Are you absolutely crazy? What on that would be considered weird. Okay. So I wouldn't take my late night coffee habits as a blanket United European thing, shall we say. You'll get some like me that are just kind of coffee addicts, but yeah, no, okay. I'm just a night owl, so I'm just
need the caffeine. Okay, sorry, back to Lorcana. I was just curious.
But yeah, no, blessed to be busy. Yeah, it's good. It's good to be busy. Lots of very exciting things going on. So not going to complain about it at all. So yeah, good to be here. And very much, obviously, Bologna is on the immediate excitement, but still very much Milwaukee is in my peripheral vision as well. I know that that's right around the corner, and I am equally as excited for that. And for, of course, seeing you, my good friends, and to jumping in the booth with you again.
I can't wait.
What delight it will be.
There are moments in life where like you just feel like it couldn't get any better. And getting to sit by side and commentate with you is always a treat. You you either said this to me or I made it up. I made up you saying it to me. But you had this comment at Worlds about like elevating people around you and like your job. Like one of the things that you try to do in one of your jobs in the booth is to help elevate those who are next to you and who are doing things with you. And I don't know, you either said that or you did it so well that it like I made up you saying that, but it's always stuck with me, and I think it's a wonderful perspective.
It sounds like me because it's something I like. Again, like it comes from like, I think it comes from a couple of different backgrounds, right? One of which being just very theatrical, and you know you could be, if you're in a scene with someone, whether it's a song, a dance, a piece of like a duologue, a piece of very serious theatre, that scene will only ever be as good as the sum of its parts. So you need to like do what you need to do to blend with each other, to bring out the best in each other. And yeah, I very much stand behind that. And the other more cheesy one is I'm a big wrestling fan, so I know the importance of selling to, you know, help, again, wrestling term, but put someone over essentially. And these are genuinely skills that I attribute some of my success towards. A lot of luck as well, but these are things that I've tried to incorporate into sort of my broadcasting career, things I learned from theatre, things that I've learned from wrestling in terms of how to market yourself as a character and, you know, work with an audience. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that very much. And I think we all do that, really. Like we all bring out the best in each other and challenge and push each other. And that's a very healthy environment to be in. Because as far as I'm concerned, like us as casters, our job is to, well, along with many other things, but a big part of our job, an important part of our job, is to make these players look like even bigger stars than they already are to the casual audience.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
That's a pleasure.
Before I comment on that, I have to say, hey, thanks. JDZ is in the building, folks, him and his viewers. So JD, thanks so much for the raid. I hope you had a fantastic stream. And raiders, welcome in. It's this is our Monday night show. We're talking about Lorcana, and we're joined this evening by, well, you see him here, the incredible Baker, all the way from the UK, where it is very late, and we appreciate him being here. So if you just are getting here, feel free to ask any questions throughout the show in the chat. We love hanging out with you all, and yeah.
That's another thing as well, because like I took a break after Worlds. I took like 2 weeks, and then I uploaded like 2 videos, and then I was like, too soon. I need a bit more time. Took another 2 weeks, which was good and was necessary. And I'm better for it. At the same time, like I didn't take a break because I was like any less in love with Lorcana or like bored of it or anything like that. It was just to deal with outside of Lorcana things, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm while I'm dealing with that and taking the time I needed, I was still actively missing the community and missing making content and interacting with the community. And now that I'm back into like, I think, a good rhythm again, I'm kind of trying to make up for that lost time by making as much content as possible and appearing and taking as many opportunities to interact with the community as possible, whether that's being here in this stream with you guys on the show, whether that's being in the chat for the events that have been happening over the last few weekends. And yeah, I love the community, man. So it's always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and you are like ubiquitous in the community. So, but no, we appreciate.
I've been called worse.
Yeah, that's fair. Were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I'm good.
Oh no, but no, appreciate all that. Appreciate your perspective on commentating and casting. And yeah, I don't know. I do think there are like levels to casting, and I could talk all about the theory of like stories and emotion, and all that. But there is a point where you reach the the realization, and for some it's really early because they're just awesome selfless people, and for some it takes a while, but where it's not you are part of an entire broadcast team, and together you're putting on a show, like a production, like a Broadway show. It's not just you sitting down in the booth, and the players are part of that production. They're actors in a way, and you are
and they get paid about as much as actors.
That's fair. Right?
That's very true.
Very top heavy.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
You're absolutely right. And hey, that is how I've always treated it, right? I've always treated it as a piece of theatre. I remember, like, I'm old enough to remember when the production and streaming and of card games started to become more normalized. Because when I first started playing card games, it was Yu-Gi-Oh, and we didn't have live streams of the events. We would have a written. There was a site called metagame.com, and after a event or during an event, you would have staff or judges that worked for Metagame that would be at the events, and the feature match would be. You would play at a table and you would have someone that worked for this company sit with a laptop at the table typing up everything that's happening. And that was your that was your production. That was your way of finding out how what was happening at events all around the country, the globe. And I remember when it started to become what it is now. Again, it's been a slow road. And I always felt like, not always, that's the wrong way of putting it, because like there are a lot of casters that I very much admired from different games through the years. At the same time, I've always preferred a caster that adds a bit of personality. I don't think we need to be reading from the dictionary here. I think it can be more exciting. It should be more exciting. I like the idea of there being characters and gimmicks and catchphrases and all those things, and especially in a card game with Disney on the tag. So yeah, it's like I've said before, I'm humbled and very, very lucky that I found my exact tribe where my skill sets could actually be of value.
And that it is for sure.
And we are lucky as well, for sure. How was Cardiff?
Oh man, so I could talk forever about this, but yeah, one thing I want to say straight away about it was, man, it's been so long since just being able to walk around a large venue like that with so many of the community. Obviously, we had the pleasure of Worlds 3 months ago. Even 3 months is a long time to go without a community event, but as you'll know yourself, Liam, as much as an honor and a privilege that was, there's a big difference between a 28-player private event and the sort of atmosphere that you get a DLC or a large venue event like Gen Con and these sort of things. It's just a completely different sort of experience, getting to just walk amongst the atmosphere of your brethren, essentially, those that are like-minded and like-passioned. And soak that up. And again, when you have the privilege of, being a spotlighted persona in the community, and people want to come and say hello, they want to have a chat, a photo, get something signed. It's always it's never stopped being weird. As time has gone on, I've gotten better at just kind of ignoring that in the moment and just trying to enjoy a genuine human interaction as opposed to just overthinking it too much. But it's still weird, but it's a pleasure and it's an honor. And you get of course, that's a very humbling and joyous experience to know wow, these people are happy to see me. Of course that's lovely to experience. And it's been such a long time. The last one for me would have been European Championships in Disneyland Paris. That was my last sort of actual community event, a large event where you'll have the larger community there, right? So it's been 9-10 months since I've been able to have that sort of experience. So that's the first thing that I'm like super grateful for. It was just great. Like the venue was amazing. Haven't got and I don't know if I did upload some photos and videos on Twitter. I know you said you haven't caught up with the weekend yet, but if you get a chance, have a look. I did a quick like 1 minute walkthrough, and the venue is huge. It was originally meant to be just a 250 person tournament, but that was before it was a CCQ or before CCQs were even a thing. Like these events were always happening, right? They've been organized by Ben. A shout out to Ben on the UK Ravensburger team, who has been putting these pieces in motion for months and months and months and months to give the UK more events and like opportunities to kind of like, again, Ravensburger wanting to support third party events. And then with CCQs were confirmed, and then it was confirmed that this event could be a CCQ. They called the venue, and basically we got as much out of that building as we possibly could. We pushed it to its limits. It ended up being 300, and I think the cap was 360, and I think we had 322 players actually playing on the day, but that was still over like the capacity that they wanted it to be, but they accommodated. And there was a cafe inside. And it was just such good vibes to be in the building, to walk around the room. Obviously, great to be back in the booth with Spessy. I know that's a casting pairing that the community are like very fond of, and we're very grateful for that. And like again, it's a very sentimental one because like we were the first ones to do a DLC and cast together. So it was a very full circle moment to then, because we opened the show for the like what was the first UK CCQ. So that felt like a very nice full circle moment. So lovely to have that experience again. And Kim and Kawa obviously are great. I got the chance to work with them as a caster at the Ink Inc. event. So it wasn't the first time, but still great to work with them some more. And obviously thrilled that they're going to be on the official team this year. So there'll be more opportunities. And they're good friends of mine. So it was great to see them, even Moyen jumping in the booth. And I got to see a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a long time. Either because the last time was Disneyland Paris at European Championships, or there are a couple of people that are very passionate Lorcana fans. They love the game, but they have families, they have jobs. They can't make it out to events unless there is a really good reason to go to that event. Like it's a DLC or there is sufficient prizing to be able to convince the wife, look, please, it's worth the trip away for the weekend, or the boss, or wife, boss, same thing. But you get my point. Like for some people, it's not easy to always be traveling around, and there are a couple of people that I legit haven't seen since like DLC Bologna last year or DLC Lille last year. So that was great to like run into some old faces. And again, like so many of them, the last time they saw me, I was still a smaller YouTuber and hadn't even made my casting debut, or I'd only started doing 1 or 2 gigs. So we were able to have that moment of like, man, what a journey it's been the last year and a half. Yeah. So that was lovely. And again, meet a bunch of new people that I've never had the chance to. Plus, I was astounded at how many people I met on that day that said they've only been playing the game for 3 months or less. That really blew my mind. Which is weird to say because like I've been I have been a loud voice for Fabled. Is a great jumping on point and will bring in a lot of new players. But it was still like kind of surreal to walk around and have so many people like, oh yeah, I came on like Azure at Sea or Arcasia's Island. I'm like, wow, like it's like seeing the growth before your eyes, quite literally. And so Cardiff was amazing from a casting perspective, from a social perspective. Again, shout out to the venue, shout out to Ravensburger, shout out to the casting team, shout out to all the players, anyone that I had a conversation with. It was a pleasure. Amazing weekend.
I am just a little jealous. But no, it sounds amazing. Like I echo everything you said about, the community and seeing them again. We're lucky over here having, we have some third-party organizers like Charlie's and PPG and Ink Inc. and that kind of crew who does these big events, at least once a set, SSG as well. And so we do get a little bit more, I feel like we get a little bit more of a chance to come together. but it's still not like DLC level, of course.
No.
But I am curious. So I got to go to one CCQ, the first one, I think, which was Denver with
PPG.
PPG.
Yeah.
How was it from? So obviously, it sounds like the UK team was heavily involved. And so did it feel like? Did it have that kind of DLC magic to it? Did it feel like it was a leaping off point for the competitive season?
Honestly, more yes than no. But like there are some things I can put it down to, right? So for a start, we were on the Disney Lorcana Twitch channel,
which is huge. That blew me away. By the way,
when Disney Lorcana went live this weekend, I was like, wait, there isn't a DLC this weekend.
Yeah,
anyway,
because like that's not the standard for
right.
CCQ. CCQs are third parties, like supported by Ravensburger with the qualification and the promos and like prizing to a degree, etc., but it's not the norm. But Ben, again, Ravensburger, UK team, fantastic guy, pushed for it, and we were thankfully granted it to be on the official channel. I need to shout out Kawa as well, because like Kawa wasn't there to cast. He did a bit of casting, but he was there doing production. And while, again, so much of the credit goes to Ben for the organization of this event, it's been literally months and months and months in the planning. Kawa did a real service to the Lorcana community this weekend, because he ran that entire production himself.
Impressive.
It was all his own equipment. Like everything you saw, like if you go back, if you watch the stream or you go back and watch the VODs at any point, that was all his production, his work, like his cameras, his arm bars, his I don't know what it is he uses. It's an Elgato thing, but to control, so that the players could control the lore at the table, all the wires feeding through the store, and he set it all up himself. And all the monitors that we needed backstage for the casters to be able to see what was going on, and then him on the side with the card IO viewer, like sitting there throughout the matches, putting the cards up, etc. So I cannot toot Kawa's horn enough. And like if you enjoyed the stream or are planning on watching the VOD, yeah, like send your well wishes, your thanks to Kawa, because he did a real service to the community this weekend. So the fact we were on the official channel was a big help, and we had all like, you know, the BRB screen music for DLCs. Liam, it's ingrained in our souls at this point.
Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, we had that in our ears and everything. So like, all of the sensory things were going off to make it feel like a DLC. Plus, again, being able to walk out and like see a full room. Again, not compared to a DLC size room, obviously, but it was still a very decently sized venue with a lot of people in it, a lot of noise, like a lot of so yeah, it had the vibes of a DLC, obviously a much smaller one. So yeah, it very much felt big time, which was really cool. Hopefully it felt that way to people that were watching the stream. So yeah, yes would be the answer to your question.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Kawa then, like, cause that's huge. I've seen what it takes to run a good production, and it is no small feat. So like, thanks for that. I'm bummed I didn't get to tune in much. I was doing, you know, the other con most of the weekend, and so I really want to go back and watch some of the production. And catch some of the matches. So if you were watching, anybody in the chat, if you were watching, like, let us know what you thought. Cool.
It was nice though, because like at the same time, I will just point out, like, while it did have that sense of like a big time event and like a sense of professionalism, there was also a clear difference, right? We were smart casual. We were a little more. It was a little more informal. Compared to what you would expect from a DLC. We were very like, we had limited space backstage. So where the casters were, if Kawa needed to go from where he was sat to the door, or if Ben needed to come into our room to get some product out or anything, they were fully on display. They would just walk behind in the back. We didn't have like a backstage curtain the way we would at a DLC. But in a way that was kind of nice, because I watched it back. And I thought that was actually kind of nice, because it just felt very natural. And again, it was like seeing us all just kind of in our natural zone. And even to the point where, like, when we were going to BRB screens, like, that they would keep the mics. It took the mics a little while to be muted because, again, it's just Howard doing a million buttons on his own, right? He hasn't got a full production team. So we would do we'll be back just after the break. And then you'd hear good stuff, man. That was really, like, you'd hear the post-professional yap. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No. Which, again, I thought was very endearing, and it's the sort of thing that me as a viewer would appreciate. So, yeah, it did have that distinct difference, which I thought was a good thing.
I really like that. I'm a big believer in telling the story of an event. And making each event its own, like the same way that each match is a story, each event is a story. And so any way that you can bring people in and make them feel like they can experience that event's unique atmosphere by doing like video walkthroughs or even what you did and having it the vibe of the studio match like the feeling of the event. I think that's all really, really important, and it's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Let's take a look real quick though. I want to talk about before we go too long. Let's look at this. Here's your winner. And I have to say, some people very proud of Alberto. Of course, DKP immediately jumped on to say, I always knew, he's a great player, one of my best students, and super proud to see him win. And then Alberto was not European player. All the way from Mexico, and the Mexican Lorcana community was incredibly proud of Alberto for going over there and representing them, a country that the game came to a lot later. And so to see him go there and take on some of the world's best players and win, all over social media, I saw players from Mexico just very, very excited to see Alberto represent.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
no, I think it's awesome. Obviously, like, your civic pride, you wanted to be a hometown person, but genuinely, I think that I agree with you completely. I think this is really awesome to see. And yeah, like, if we wanted someone from UK to do it, we should have done it. Then good on them coming in and taking that European Championship qualification. Don't knock it at all. Really nice guy. Got the chance to have a chat with him. Got the chance to watch a couple of his like, obviously casting, but even when I was on my breaks, like for the top cut, I remember watching because he played Atlantine, who is, in my opinion, the best female player in Europe. She made top 8. She's had a wonderful Lorcana career so far, and I think she's got big things ahead of her. I think she's a future Worlds player, and she made top 8 and faced Alberto, and we ended up getting them on stream for their game 3 because we had a different match on stream which ended too quickly, so we got them on as a backup. But I had been watching their game 1 and 2 on my break, just out on the tables, and man, was it tense. Like, it was a super good game to watch. But yeah, lovely guy, super happy for the Mexican community. Yeah, good on him as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Do you need to duck out?
Yeah, I do need to duck out. It was so great to see you, Baker.
You too, Erin. It's been too long. I look forward to seeing you again, my dear.
Yeah, absolutely. And bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Sorry.
Yeah, good on him. Look forward to seeing how he does at the European Championships. Or hey, maybe he'll go to a DLC and try and win a Golden Mickey. I would.
Yeah, same. Yeah, super impressive. And you love to see. I mean, that's one of the things you mentioned earlier when you were talking about making players stars. Like, it is. And you knew, like, when Lorcana launched, if you've ever followed a TCG or any sort of esport or in a sport period, like, it gets more fun when you have players that who you can follow, their stories, their play styles, how they innovate. And when you can follow their journeys, it makes it a ton of fun because their stories. And so it is really fun to get to see players, like on stream and recognize their names. But it's also super cool when there are players who burst onto the scene who you haven't necessarily been following and take down these tournaments. And now Alberto's a player that we're going to follow. And this is the first chapter in his Lorcana epic. And it's just really, really cool when you get to meet some of those folks.
A new challenger is approaching.
Right, exactly.
In content and on the over the weekend, like there are obviously a lot of very established players already in Lorcana. Big characters, personalities, well-known people, the likes of Zach Bivens, Zan Zayed. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Right? We've got some incredible Lorcana personalities. But there's a lot of people that were like just on the cuff of making it to Continental's top cut or even Worlds last year. Didn't quite get there. People like Kendall Badette, super well-respected player, but didn't quite get like on top of the mountain. Very hungry to make that final step this year. At the same time, a lot of new players that are keen to burst onto the scene and take these positions from these established players in the community. You know, they want to be the champion. Like they want to be the one that's selling all the Metafy guides. They want to take DKP's world championship and this incredible marketing that he's built up for himself as a result of very hard work and a lot of talent. Take nothing away from him, but there will be people out there that say, no, I want to be that instead. So I'm going to do better than you this season, and I'm gonna beat you. Like, and I think that's very cool. I think that's going to make for some really good stories. And as me and you know, Liam, without going into too much detail, the Disney Lorcana team are very keen to tell stories in season 2.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's what Disney is. That's what entertainment is. It is storytelling. And so, yeah, it's almost like, it's like, you know, you joked about the new challenger approaching thing, but like, one of the fun, I always love Street Fighter games, right? Like these fighting games. And one of the fun things was when you had a Street Fighter game and Super Nintendo, and the next one would be released, and you had the old characters who you played a while and they were fun and refreshing and you could play Ryu or whatever. But then there was like 4 or 5 like new characters who were there for that particular game. And then as the season went on, that's what it feels like right now, where we have the old players there and these new ones are popping up, who, again, to your point, are always there, just like 1 or 2 wins away from a top cut or a top 8, or a Worlds invite. And now just getting a chance to show what they've got.
And there's another person that I think is very much like in that bubble who we'll be talking to in a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm really excited. We won't. Yeah, I'll bring him just a couple more minutes. We'll bring him in. I'm super excited. This is the Blurple deck that Alberto took down the tournament with. Some fairly standard stuff. Couple things I was surprised by in this build, and of course Blurple is everywhere. But I'm really excited to see Voice Stealer in there. I know there's a few people who are high on her, and you can do some shenanigans. But she does the same Elsa like exerting trick to make characters vulnerable and very good in the mirror. We have the Monstros in there. And then Finders Keepers coming back in. I have seen people off that because of the tempo killer that it is. But you know, here doing a lot of work. How is his list? How do you see, or what do you think of its performance?
Yeah, so most of this is pretty cookie cutter, in my opinion. Like there's only so much room for, I think, expression at the moment with Blurple, and it predominantly comes down to counts more than actual cards. But there are some key decisions to be made, right? So for a start, we've got 3 vision of the future, but no develop your brain. Okay, so that's a trade-off that you make straight away, because as we all know, any Sapphire deck, and very much this Blurple deck, it gets 50% worse if you miss turn 2 ramp. Like that's just it. Like you are that 1 turn slower, and like you're denying yourself like some of the power level of this deck, which is the fact that we can play things off curve a lot faster and more powerful things than our opponent. So develop your brain obviously is a great way to help raise the odds that you're going to see that turn 2 ramp by turn 2. So if you miss it post mulligan, if you hit a develop your brain, then you, on your turn 1, get a chance to dig a little deeper for that turn 2 ramp. Some other players have been opting to play 1 jump ahead as an additional ramp tool, which not only, again, serves the purpose of raising the odds that you're going to hit ramp, but also allows for turbo ramp if you play Tipo on 2, and just helps you like get to the TikTok or the Hades turn all the quicker. So if you're going to say, I'm not going to play Develop Your Brain, I'm going to play Vision of the Future instead, the trade-off there is obviously in the mid to late game when you are looking for a key piece, whether it's the Elsa to break the board or the Elsa to banish something specific or whatever it is you need in the moment to take back control or establish your dominance. Vision of the Future is obviously a far better tool to help you find a thing, to do a thing. Develop is also fine. Like, it's perfectly fine. Like, that's fine to have mid to late game when you've got 6, 7, 8 ink. It's a small looter. Not a looter, but like a small way to filter through, find a thing. But Vision's better. So if you're going to pick one or the other, you're kind of immediately making this distinction of like, okay, do I want better mid to late game top decks, or do I want to increase the consistency overall of the deck? Some decks will play both. The majority of the top cut deck lists from this event went for one or the other. So like that's one thing straight away that you can draw attention to, because as long as we hit turn 2 ramp, then later on in the game, you're going to be glad that you've got Visions and not Develop Your Brains, right? That just makes sense. The other one to look at is the 1-drops. Basil is pretty established this point. There's a bunch of things you can point out, but a couple of the most obvious are you play your Elsa on 5, you exert their Genie or their Dumbo, and now you can just quest with the Basil, support it up to 4, and you're immediately taking it out. And again, there's lots of math fixing here that you can do. Your Genie is taking out their Genie with support, and so on and so forth. And it doesn't require any other ink. As long as you establish the Basil at some point in your curve, then it's already just sitting there, right?
It sits there for like 5 turns, just waiting.
Exactly. Yeah. But also has 2 strength, which is relevant enough to be boosted with Hypnotic Strength if you need to crash a Daisy. So Basil's perfect. So I think that's pretty. You're probably starting with 4 Basil. And then it comes down to whether or not you want to run the Beat Stick 1-drops, and if so, which ones and how many. Royal Guard and Rafiki are the ones here. We're seeing 2 Guard, 1 Rafiki. Rafiki is the far more popular one from the data that I've been looking at over the past few weeks. You're going to get that a lot more. Royal Guard has a higher ceiling, obviously. But the main way you're going to take advantage of that higher ceiling is on a Finders Keepers or a second start of the right turn. In which case, Finders Keepers, you're hitting for 5 now. Second start of the right, you're hitting for 7. So that's obviously great. Like the idea of you having a Royal Guard on the same turn that you were able to sing second start of the right, and now you're one-shotting a Hades or an Elsa or something like that that's sideways. Sounds very great. Bit situational. Yep. Probably not like, and it's not why we're running it, right? We want the 1-drops so that we can answer the aggro decks, okay? Rafiki is always hitting 3. It's taking out Nala. It's taking out a bunch of characters that have 3 willpower in meta at the moment. And will always hit that 3. The Royal Guard needs you to have a way to draw extra cards on top of your ready set draw to hit above 2. But Rafiki will never hit back on the clapback if challenged, whereas Royal Guard will always hit back 1. So you're trading off here, like which you prefer. Most people prefer Rafiki. Other than that, the Ursula, they're in less decks than they... That's not the right way of putting it. They're in, say, 2 of 8 decks for Blurple. I think it's reasonable. I liked her more a couple of weeks back, just thinking of her as 5th Elsa. But I spoke to Tiago about Ursula again, mostly in the context of Amethyst Steel, and he wasn't. It's not the fact that he wasn't a fan. He was just like, I think there are just better things we can play, and I think we should try and build with a consistency and alter with a consistency that we hit Elsa when we need her more often than not. And I spoke also today. Slight spoilers with Ed, Dale Bolido, and Humble, who are my guests for a podcast that will be coming out on Wednesday or Thursday. And we had the exact same discussion point. And I won't go into too many details. Check out the podcast on Wednesday or Thursday. But none of them were a fan. So I've kind of been pulled off of Ursula by minds greater than my own. But I still see her use. And obviously is in Alberto's first place winning list here. So you've got to listen to the data to a degree. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of decision points to be making here. Maybe you play 3 or 4 elephant. Do you play 0, 1 or 2 TikToks? Do you play 0, 1 or 2 Elsas? So this deck is fairly cookie cutter. To be honest, there were other Blurple decks that were doing more peculiar things. One list ran the Elsa, gloves off, the 3/4 who has Challenger 3. So she hits for 6. Good for aggro. You can break through the Tiana attacks. You can one-shot a Hades or an Elsa in the mirror match. Pretty interesting. And the other more interesting tech that I've been seeing is They Never Come Back, which is the 3-cost, 2 chosen characters can't ready at the start of the turn, and you can draw a card. Great for illusions against Amethyst Steel, for popping Raja, Giant Cobra, etc. Like that. You probably win the game on the spot if you do that. But even outside of that, like even just in the mirror, if you and your Blurple opponent have both built a wall, right? Of you got a couple of genies, a Dumbo, maybe an Iago and a Madam Mim Elephant. If you can like freeze them down for a turn, so suddenly they have 2 less characters left to challenge, or you're getting ahead in the law race. It seemed to do a lot of work this weekend. There are a lot of players on it, and 4 out of the 10 Blurple decks in Top Cut were running They Never Come Back, and I think we will see a lot of it in Bologna this week. So that's kind of my thoughts on Blurple as it stands.
Still good. I pulled up the list here. I think this is the 4th place list, but highlighting again Elsa, as you pointed out in this particular list, and it is fun to take a look at these side by side, especially when they top cut the same event and they performed well at the same event. To take a look at these different tech choices, and to your point, the one Monstro here, only 1 second star. You've got the 1 jump ahead worked in, as you pointed out.
So again, like that list there, for an example, like this is going to be more consistent in terms of like it's hitting that turn 2 ramp, but now you have more cards in your deck that probably aren't great top decks later on, when you get to that point where you've like it comes down to who's hitting the more effective bombs, quote unquote, off the top of the deck to disrupt. But if you get to play the game every round of Swiss because you always hit ramp, that's going to feel good, and that's going to mean something over the course of 9 rounds.
Right. Yep. And yeah. Anyway, super fun. I would love to pick your brain more about the meta. Maybe we do that in a little bit, but I do want to make sure that we get in
Absolutely
our next guest, who I'm super excited to talk to.
So am I.
This is a ton of fun too. I don't know if you all are on opposite sides of the world, but it's probably close. Joining us across the Atlantic Ocean is Baker, and joining us from across the Pacific Ocean now is one of my favorite Lorcana players, Artax. Oh, let's make you big.
Thank you.
All hail the All Father.
Hey everyone.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's like 11 a.m. in the morning. I just woke up, and I'm fine. Thank you. I'm pretty good.
I should have not told people like where you were, and everybody knows where you are, but in case they didn't, I should have not told people where you were and let them guess based on your background. I love Japan. I've never been, and when I saw you do like the slidey doors behind you, I freaked out a little bit because I was like, Zach Bibbins in the chat saying Artax is the GOAT.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
There you go. But no, I'm super excited to chat with you. I know you were off the net for a little bit, getting settled over there. I mean, how is it over there? I know we talked a bit before the show, but now that we're live, like, how are you doing? How are things?
Yeah, in the beginning, you need to get used to it a bit, but I really love the food here, honestly, and the people are very, very nice, very, very kind, everyone. And we are living like in the countryside and not very like in a big city or something, so it's like even more unusual, I would say. But I really enjoy it. I love it, honestly, and it's really cool to have this opportunity to have this experience my wife got a job here, and a very good job, honestly. And then we can do this for 1 year. That's very cool to. I don't think everyone has this opportunity to do something like this, and then I'm very grateful to be able to do that, honestly. And also when we play Lorcana, when I play Lorcana, just to have like this new insight of another country playing Lorcana, I think it fits very well together, everything, and I'm very grateful, honestly, to be able to do that. Yeah.
How is it playing in? Because so for us over here in the US, like frankly, like people come over.
Diablo meta again. Sorry.
That was my next question. Because I was like, it's like being in the past. You're savant.
Why would you do this to yourself? We just got rid of it.
I asked myself too. I asked myself too.
Didn't hear no bell.
You couldn't say goodbye, right? You just had
the
problem
was additionally like. I thought about which deck I need to order, because we have to play in Japanese cards here, so I needed to order a completely new deck, and I thought, like, when I go here, I only slam Diablos and Prince Jones, but then I saw the prices, and the Green Steel is very expensive deck, and Red Purple is very cheap, honestly. There are no legendaries.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So I ordered Red Purple because I thought, yeah, okay, I'm used to it. I don't know, and. And then I played through the whole day through Green Steel and Green Yellow decks in the set championships, and thought, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? But yeah, it worked out. I think the matchup is not too bad. It's just like this Diablo stuff that you need to answer immediately.
Diablo stuff.
The matchup's not great, but I saved about 10 grand. So
yeah, I mean, we all know how the matchups are. You need these answers early, or you lose. And if you have it, you are fine sometimes. And then it's just annoying. But it worked out for me. And they are. Oh, sorry. No,
go ahead.
They are really used to best of one here. They didn't. They all play best of one in every set championship, I guess, and I think, and it's like very unusual, of course, like 24-minute rounds and 25 minutes rounds, and we did ask, is it best of one or best of three, and they didn't even know what I meant. They asked, what do you mean? And I thought, my wife explained, because she speaks Japanese better than me, and she's tell them, in Germany or in Europe we play like 3 times against the same person, and then the better, and wow, okay, that's interesting, and so they're really used to best of one here, at least in this. I mean, it was a small local scene. I think it was probably not, but it was well-defined decks they played, and good players, and I think they know what's happening in Lorcana, at least at this formats that are behind us now. But
I love the idea of that visual of you having that conversation and then walk away, and then they turn to each other and like, why would you play 3 times against the same person? These people not take a loss. I feel like that's their point of view.
Like we'd be here until 11 p.m.
We're here to play games, but you don't finish Monopoly and then go right into.
If you lost, you lost. You know why should you play again?
Win the first game, like there.
Oh, that's so funny.
And soon will be Singapore DLC, and then also best of one there. Like that's crazy. Even a DLC, or like no, is it called a DLC? I think it called it DLC. It's like a big tournament which qualifies for the World.
Yeah, it's their version. Yeah. I do think it has a different name, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's their version of it.
And that's best of one till semi-final. That's crazy, you know.
And then
till
best of 10.
Best of one, like 9-round Swiss best of 1, then top 32 best of 1, top 16 best of 1, top 8 best of 1, and then semi-final with best of 3.
Oh wow!
Wow.
I was wondering if they jumped to 7.
Yeah, right.
I think you
All
need
the
to win a
extra
lot of
games just
dice rolls.
crammed in.
You need to win a lot of dice rolls. I think I really need to practicing rolling dice.
Yeah. Apparently. Wow. I mean, is that just Lorcana or is that most TCGs?
Every TCG I played were best of 3 yet. I think. Or what do you mean?
I mean, like over in Japan, are most TCGs doing the best of 1 format, or is that?
Oh, that I don't know actually.
It's weird because like I have some memories of watching Japanese playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and they played best of 3s.
I think they played best of 3. Yeah, I don't know actually. A good question. Good question.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Anyway, interesting.
Who's got time to play 3 games?
I mean, to be honest, it's if you play more rounds, it's not that big of an issue to play best of 1, but then you need to play a lot of more rounds, I think.
That's a fair point.
I mean, that was one of the bits of feedback for 2-game format, though.
Yeah, it's
like if you're gonna do 2-game format, take away the extra point and let us play more rounds of Swiss. Like, not exactly the same situation, but
yeah. It's hard to say, but
interesting.
Worked out for me.
The chat pointing out, Zach pointing out, Pokemon is best of 1 in Japan. So
really?
That's, I guess, what they do, and it works. Game piece as well. Same Pokemon is all best of 1 in Japan. So there you go. Best of 1. It is.
They're busy. The Japanese. They ain't got time to. They got time to mess around.
Yep. Just get the game done. 24-minute round sounds wild though. I can't wrap my head around it for some reason. I feel like sit down, you got to shuffle quick.
Yeah, it's weird, and you can never adapt to your opponent in Mulligan, for example, because you never know what you play against. Like you have no second game, so you will never know what you play against. So you need to play a deck that has a really straightforward Mulligan that is like the same in every matchup. Like I think Diablo is for something like Diablo decks are like obvious choice for something like that. But if you have a lot of key cards, like Green Purple is really bad because you need to mulligan for Ursula against Steel Song, and you mulligan for that in other matchups, and you can never do that. And that's not a good. Seems not very appealing.
What are their time limits for rounds?
Yeah, 25 minutes. Yeah.
You have 25 minutes. Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, is it still like 50 minutes and like, maybe turns take a lot longer and like it's maybe more normalized to,
They play very slow. I would say. I don't know the players I played against. I don't know. It's like saying for everyone, but I think they are very more calm than the players I played. But I don't know. It's not a big sample size. But it's like the player I played against.
Yeah, let us know in a year when you've got some big sample size.
Yeah. I'd love to see like some videos, and I don't know. I'm super interested in how the game is doing and what the atmosphere is like in other countries, outside Europe and the US, which have been pretty well documented at this point.
I will do that for sure.
Are you doing Singapore?
I will do it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it. It's not too far away, so it's like it's just a cool thing. Also to be in Singapore, like a lot of cool opportunities to visit places you not always have a chance to do in your life.
Japan has been on my bucket list for such a long time. If I hope Lorcana takes me anywhere at some point, it's Japan, man. So I'm super happy for you, man. Like what an experience. Yeah, no.
Tokyo was mind blowing. It's
I want to do that.
Yeah. No, I'm super chuffed for you, man. I'm super happy for you. That's all.
If you think
that way is.
If you think it's a big city, it's a big city, but then you see it and you think, what the? It's so big. It's so big. It's you play. I drove away from the city because we drove to our village with a train, and we drove like 45 minutes or something till we exit the city. You know, like it's crazy. It's so big. It's insane. Yeah.
Somebody told me because we're used to big city, like you go to New York City, for example. Like skyscrapers are like they're office buildings, you know, and so you have some retail space in the ground floor, maybe a couple levels, but most of the verticality is like private office space or you know, apartments and things like that. And then somebody, it might have been Dick Burns actually, when he went to Japan, told me a story about a building that he went to where it was just floor after floor after floor of game store. And it was just like 10s, 20, 30, 40, 50 floors of just game stores. And for some reason, it kind of blew my mind because what that did is it gave me the impression that like the street level view that pedestrians experience, that you're just walking through the city, the retail space stretches way upward as well. And so it's like this weird, like exponential increase in it just, I don't know.
Usually all buildings there, all these skyscrapers are all like, each skyscraper has a different purpose, you can say. Like in one skyscraper there are only restaurants, the whole skyscraper. And the next skyscraper is only like shops or something like for clothes, and the next one is like, it's like each skyscraper has its own. It's at our hotel, we were at a hotel, like it's like you go in your room and it's only a bed, that's it. Like it's so small, everything there, because they need to use their space productively. So we had the door, which then we already were in our bed, you can say. There was one small door here to the toilet, but then it's crazy. Like
it's wild.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They need
Baker,
to use their space. Sorry?
Yeah, I was saying, Baker, you might not fit. Like,
like it wouldn't be the first time in my throughout my time acting and singing. I like quite a lot of places. You sleep where they've got space for you. Like I've lived in like camper vans and tents and all sorts. So like, I can relate.
That's wild. Well, I will say, Artax, you definitely have to keep us posted on your journeys, your travels over there.
I will.
Mean, both from like a Lorcana perspective, but then also just like just the life of, you know, European living in small town Japan is fascinating to me, and I really want to keep up with what you're doing over there.
And your quest to get the Japanese to embrace best of 3.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm a bit sad that I miss Bologna now, because I really thought about it, but it's like I flight here 3 weeks ago, and then I thought, oh, do I fly back like only 3 weeks after I flight here? And then I've said I miss it a bit, but it's like I also think it's like really cool to just be here and just see what the people are doing and be a bit more chill and don't be that stressed like always you are in before DLC, or at least I am very stressed most of the time when prepping for DLC. And now I can just sit here, watch them fighting for the crown and see what they're bringing up.
Well, you'll be missed, man. Very much so. I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you've gone on this adventure. Makes me sad. That means I might not see you again for a while, but it'll make it all the more special when the time does come that you make the trip. But I'm glad you're getting settled first.
Yeah, the next, which is the next? Ghent, the next DLC in Europe. I think I will be there probably, but I need to see.
I'll hope so, and tentatively look forward to it. But yeah, you get to kind of like step away and like, I don't have to stress out about this meta. I get to watch you guys.
But I get Diablo slammed in my face. So
rings and roundabouts.
It does. It is amazing how much I do not miss him.
No, I really thought the first game I played, the first game of the first round, they opened Diablo Shift Cove, and I thought, why why?
Got out of here.
Somehow
And then
I
you're like-
made it. Like I got rid of the cove and then I brawled the Diablo. But it's like, it's you do not miss it. Yeah.
I need someone to make the meme of the Simpsons meme of Moe and Barney like throwing him out the bar, but it's just Artax and a Diablo.
Yeah. Someone in the chat, make it happen.
Make it happen. That's
funny. Have you been following? I mean, I assume you've just been kind of plugged into the local scene. Have you been following like the meta much? Fabled meta?
Yeah, very much. I'm also testing a lot. I have still my MetaFi up, so I'm still very informed about the meta, and I have some guesses which I could see good performing, and I think the tournaments like this weekend were also very interesting, and there's actually a lot of diversity, I have to say. Like, I think multiple deck choices could be working out, and I think the meta is in a good position. I think it's a bit unusual how it works right now with no board wipes and stuff, and we all got to adapt a bit. But I think that's always something that's cool if you need to adapt to new situations and stuff. I think that's a good way to skill express.
Yeah. I since we're all up in it and we talked a little bit about Cardiff, there's one more tournament I wanted to hit real quick, especially since the winner is in a car right now driving with somebody watching the show, so we can talk about him and he can't talk back. So but
that's why I became a caster,
right? So we talked all about Blurple and some different techs over there that performed well over in Cardiff. Over here stateside, Amber Steel has been crushing people the last few events, and in particular Skylar taking down numerous big events now. Baker, we talked earlier about players who were kind of like on the edge last season, who are just like really bursting onto the scene. Skylar Dunce is one of them, and taking down this Fabled weekend tournament up in the Glass City Showdown here on Amber Steel. Played the same colors in Denver, this deck it's aggressive, it's mean,
Sky's not from this world. Sky is not from this planet. I always think. I don't know. I think the deck is really good, obviously, but I also think, like, how can you be that consistent even with a crazy good deck? It's insane to me. Like,
and lost a lot of die rolls apparently.
And you I can imagine so many situations where you just lose, but somehow he makes it through that and probably makes a lot of good mulligan decisions. What's really crucial for this deck, I think, and it's amazing. It's just amazing.
He doesn't see Lorcana. He sees code. He's like Zach Bivens is the what's the series called? The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah,
that's what Bivens does. Plays on the ceiling.
Yeah, right.
And Sky is Neo. Neo sees Amber Steel or Lorcana in code. And Sky is absolutely on that list of people like Kendall and Artax here and LD, who, in my opinion, like didn't get the right amount of luck. You need to be lucky and good. Like, I know Artax on the latest Artcast, you and LD were talking about this at length. It's one or the other generally isn't good enough. You have to have the right amount of both on the right day. But when you see a player go back to back like this, with a deck like this, which should be losing on the draw in the mirror, like, in my opinion, like, you have so little.
Also against Purple Steel and stuff, even against Black.
You have so little agency to like fight that back.
On the other side, you don't leave a lot opportunities for your opponent always also. So you, like, if your opponent misses one, you punish every little misplay or misdraw from your opponent. What's really appealing for this deck, I think. That's a really upside for this deck. I think that you capitalize on every little even either misplay or misdraw from your opponent, and I think that makes this deck very, very powerful. Like, you can say there are a lot of Tiana answers, but you're also demanding them always. And if your opponent like doesn't draw one time his Into the Unknown, or I don't know, each other answer, then you just win, and then that makes I think it makes it to the very good win rate this deck has. I think, even against Purple Steel, if you don't have even as a Purple Steel player, you need a Tiana answer, and you don't always have it. So it's like, you have. It's a powerful deck. I don't think there's debate about it. Probably.
Yeah.
And it's got one of the best matchups into Blurple, which is what we expect to be the majority of the meta, right? And like you say, they have answers, but they miss the Into the Unknown. They miss just once, and it's over. Like, oh, you're at 20. Oh, this was
I also think that it does better as Emerald Sapphire becomes more popular, honestly. The Pete line, because it sets up these win conditions where you drop the Pete and Emerald Sapphire loses. It's when it's way out of that matchup is to hit ramp into the under the sea, hit it as fast as possible. When you do, you win the game. If they hit under the sea, they win the game. And the Pete at that right moment is the game winning play, the same way that Vinny was for a little while. So I think that as we saw people moving more into Emerald Sapphire after like CCS and that deck get more popular, I think Amber Steel took advantage of that. And I think it's one of the reasons it represented so well in at least out here in PBG. But I don't know.
Yeah, it will be very interesting what's coming on at the top in Bologna.
Yeah, we'll peek one more Blurple list here. Second place, just for fun. We talked a lot about it already, and yeah, it's all the same stuff. There you go.
I said, there's only so much room at this point for innovation. Like player preference and innovation. Like, I think again, it's most of the differences you're going to see are just counts, Rafiki or Royal Guards, Elsa or what count of Elsa.
I still think. Go on. I still think Second Starter Right is a very greedy card. I don't know. It's like you need it for the mirror probably, but it's like really bad in every other matchup than the mirror. So it's like that's a high cost for an uninkable card, I think. But often, like in the mirror, who thinks this card wins? So it's like a weird situation for the card. I think it's like it's very hard to evaluate. Some people also going for the how's the 8 cost? Dig a little deeper instead of that.
Yeah.
To be able to be a bit more. It's very much easier to sing it honestly than 10 cost. So it's adds a bit more consistency, but it has lower ceiling. So it's like maybe you just go for the greedy worked obviously out for him.
There was one that made top 16 in Cardiff that was probably like the closest to different I could imagine, where they weren't playing Elsa at all. Obviously the Fifth Spirit weren't playing the Floodborn Elsa, and instead were playing for Scrooge McDuck just to like again a little more hopefully out aggro the mirror match. It's going to help against Amethyst Steel and Amber Steel to a degree. I would assume, and playing Baymax, so like just going a tad more mid range and losing some of your high end. But yeah, no, I think it's pretty settled. What do you think if they never come back though, Artax? I'd like to get your thought on that because that came up a lot this weekend.
I honestly would need to test it to be completely sure about it. In my feeling, it would be. I think you need to play it instead of the how's it called, hypnotic strength then, just to have like because like it's a very clunky card, I think, in a lot of situations. So, but if something works out, it's probably good enough. I don't know how much it helps against aggro. Probably a bit, but
good for illusions, like against Amethyst Steel.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but it was just, it was just weird because so many of them came up this weekend. Like, they haven't really been around in previous weeks. But like, again, Cardiff, out of the 10 Blurple Blurple decks in top 16, 4 of them were running They Never Come Back 2 to 4 counts.
Oh, that's actually
I saw a clip from Stockholm where a couple of players, I just don't know where it came from all of a sudden. And so many players seemingly having the same sort of idea. So yeah, I'm really intrigued by that.
Yeah, that's intriguing then. Yeah, if a lot of these decks make top card with this card in the deck, probably there is something in that. Interesting, yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting. I have heard people like mention it, but it's popped up here and there. But you're right, Baker. I haven't seen it played much at all. It is always funny though, because either one of two things happens. Either like there's a testing group, or there's a player who does a video, and all of a sudden the secret gets out and it all emanates from one spot, or like it's this secret that everybody just missed the first few weeks, and everybody comes to this realization at the same time that this card is good or necessary, and it just bursts on the scene. It is fascinating when that happens.
Yeah, because I always think like it's not very likely that it happens because like everyone is working on it, and it's not very likely. I always think like that a few weeks after release, still there's something to find out, but there's always something. Like I remember like also the Second Star to the Right was also a card like in the beginning nobody played, or everyone played Finders Keepers, and then first decks came up with Second Star to the Right, and suddenly it worked. It came out to be the Mirror Breaker, and it's interesting. It's like the Surfer Mini. I remember Surfer Mini in set 2. that was like in the beginning nobody played her, then Surfer Mini, and everyone thought, oh, the Mirror Breaker. Surfer Mini turn 3, turn 4, GG.
I hated that card. I hated that card.
Got away with so much. I hate it. With the Second Star though, it's like it's one of the only things that we can still do that feels unfair.
Yeah, that's
and like
true.
Sometimes it just feels like you need to be doing unfair things, I think, or at least like it leans into some players' play styles, right? Like some players are going to be perfectly happy to take the Amethyst Steel deck and have consistency over 9 rounds, but know that they have a limited ceiling, as opposed to I can sing Second Star to the Right. Yeah. Or I can Under the Sea and Heads Held High. Again, that's one of the other like quote unquote unfair things that you can do if you're like wiping away 5-6 characters. So yeah, I get the thought trail. I think Art's lost our audio.
Yeah, I'm gonna boot him in the green room. Come right back. But you're here. Flip. Good.
Hello.
Now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They never come back.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Baker.
No, just that again. It's like one of the few unfair things that you can still do, right? You know, some players are happy to take Amethyst Steel through 9 rounds of Swiss and just be consistent, but have a limited power level. Whereas some people are going to go in and say, no, I want to be the board wipe. I want to do the unfair things, like Under the Sea, Head Held High, I think is the other one of the more unfair things you could do. Or although I will say, Artax, I was playing Green-Blue recently, and my first Shift Clarabelle Sing You're Welcome draw 5 hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, whoa, what just happened?
That's true, yeah.
It does feel unfair. The thing about Second Star, like if Blurple isn't, I mean, you mentioned this, Baker, it really is a mirror breaker. And if Blurple isn't as popular as it is, Second Star isn't as popular as it is, because it's used primarily, I think, to break up that matchup. The thing about it is that makes it so frustrating is you have to respect it. And so there are removal decisions that you're going to make purely to prevent that song from being sung. Because if you have to play it hard, it's so much worse when you can't play right into your removal right away. So like there are times where perhaps you're content like not to use Into the Unknown on their like TPO. But like because second star is a possibility, you always have to play around it in the mirror, because if they get it off, it's a problem. So it forces your opponent into some annoying situations because it's in, even if there's a one of.
Yeah. I remember, like, I think JDR, I think it in 20 lore somewhere, he posted like, second star is so bad in any other matchup than Blurple, so can we please all agree to cut it? So please everyone make a gentleman's agreement. cut the second star, because it's so bad in nearly any other way. You don't want to draw it into aggro. You also don't want to draw it into green blue, because it's like weird to make them draw with Clarable. So it's like really only for the mirror, but there it's necessary. So it's like this weird situation. The card is in, yeah.
Man, that takes me back to my Yu-Gi-Oh days. Return from the Different Dimension. Anyone in chat that remembers Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll remember that was a point where
I played
pre-game. Yeah, well, not pre-game. You could side deck though in Yu-Gi-Oh. So if you were in a mirror like after game one, it'd be like, shall we agree to side these out?
The old prisoner's dilemma. That's funny. Yeah, everybody decided to play him. That's funny. Sorry, I'm multitasking. So I don't want to take too much more time, but a couple more questions. One, we see where the meta is now. We saw what happened in Cardiff. We see here Glass City, which I think was the biggest tournament over here. What do we think is coming up next weekend in Bologna? Are there any surprises, or have we pretty much seen what we're going to see next week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not there, so I can speak. Openly. I would probably play Purple Steel, because I think it's like the best matchups. I mean, every other matchup than Blurple, it's very favored, I think, and even against Blurple, I think I'm fine with the matchup in total. I don't mind it too much. It's a bit unfavored, but I think on the play I'm very favored.
Shout out to Bobby McCoo that made that and tagged me on Twitter.
That's great. Bobby, you're the GOAT. What's this face I got there? I don't know where is this from.
I've got so many memes of you, Artax, but you know this. I post them in the Discord.
I'm the meme master. I know. I have a meme face. I'm very proud to have a meme face. Yeah. So what about it? Purple Steel I would probably pick, because I feel like it's the best meta spread for me personally. But I think there could be everything on top. I don't. Could be still Blurple. It could be Amber Steel. Green Blue. I would be surprised a bit, because I think it's for me personally, I think it's the weakest of these meta decks right now. But that's just my opinion. Because I think good Blurple players find ways to be even favored against that matchup, and the aggro matchups, I don't think they are very favored for Green Blue. It's like sometimes an early Under the Sea is good, but outside of that, I think they are really hard for them. So yeah, that would be surprising for me to see Green Blue on top, but everything else I think is totally big surprises. Lol. I would be surprised if we see big surprises, to be honest. But that's a surprise, So
yeah,
you should be surprised by a surprise,
Yeah. I don't know, Baker. What do you think we're gonna see?
I think the majority of Top Cut will look largely like we expect it to look. Blurple will be the most represented deck in the room, probably followed by Amber Steel, followed by either Green Blue or Purple Steel. It'll be one or the other. And then dogs, I think, will have an insurgents.
Oh, sorry,
yeah. There's been a lot of talk about dogs. Only recently, really, has it like been super on the radar. And yeah, I think it's got some good matchups. So I think there's a good chance maybe that ends up jumping into the 4th place, but if not 5th. So yeah, I expect our top cut to largely look and be representative of the last few weeks of data, that's why basically what it's been. That being said, basically every week we have had a different winning deck list. The margins stay the same. It's predominantly Blurple followed by XYZ, but it is something different winning every week. And I think that's still a pretty good sign. And in terms of like surprises, and I asked this today again, I hosted a pod with some Lorcana players and asked them their predictions for what they thought might be the biggest surprise deck or the underdog deck that could perform well. And there were mentionings of Green Purple actually came up in that conversation, Artax. That was from Dale. He's still got some faith in Green Purple, so I'm interested to see what that does. I'm currently the Looney Tunes gif where they're ripping a sign off a tree going, "It's over, we're back, it's over, we're back," with Red Purple, because like I was all the way on the we're dead in the water right now, this ain't our set, like we've lost everything. I tried so hard to make it work, as I always do. They're always going to be my prime colors, but I felt like I was building it well enough to have a decent Amber Steel matchup. I think Madame Medusa bouncing 2-drops is amazing. Having the Daring Visitor for the Tiana is like the best answer you could possibly have to it. So I quite liked the Amber Steel matchup. And I shared a similar idea to Artax in terms of like running Maleficent Dragons to help in the Blurple matchup, because they ramp you into it, and then you've got perfectly reasonable response cards to Hades and Mouse and things like that. So I do feel like I felt like there was a build there, but I just wasn't having a lot of consistency with it personally. So I'd gone all the way off of it. But the last few days, I'm not going to go into... I know I'm a content creator, but at the same time, I'm not going to break faith. Because the last few days, players I respect have been kind of cooking a little bit with some RP. Again, I'm not going to break faith and start giving away people's spice, but I actually think there might be a slight uptick in expected red purples this weekend, partly because maybe people have just found the right list, but also because it's going to be an unexpected deck over the weekend. And I actually think there's a lot of value to that. If you can sit down and have your opponent go, "Oh, okay, I wasn't expecting to see many of them today," then, they're going to be far more tested against the established Blurple cookie cutter lists and the standard meta decks that we're seeing every week. Whereas they might not know what today's red purple decks are. What are they trying to do? Are they flinger dingers? Or are they, this more mid-range, almost tempo style build? So yeah, like, again, admittedly, I'm very biased, but I do have other good reasons for genuinely thinking like maybe red purple, while definitely not tier 1 or tier 2, could have a rogue performance, and with a good run, maybe we see one make top cut. And if there's just one, I'll be happy.
The problem with, but it's nearly the same for green purple, is that it's really hard to build them to be not unfavored against Blurple.
Yes.
And if Blurple is the
dominant
strongest
deck,
deck then it's like not very appealing, at least.
Yeah.
To work or to tinker on that. I tinkered also a bit with red purple and green purple. I don't know. I would be really surprised. I tried everything in my disposal to make it work, and I couldn't make it run, at least not to the same power level than these other top tier decks. And I don't say you can't win games with it. You can, of course. And like with any deck on the play, you can win probably with any deck. But it's the power level is... I would be really surprised if... But positively surprised, obviously, to
Sure,
see
yeah.
something. Some green purple would be really awesome. But that's what really a surprise for me. Because you need to fight your way through a lot of blurples and also purple steel. Purple steel blurple in the past were like traditionally the bad matchups for green purple, and it is still like that, I would say. And it's like never a worse meta for like having these two bad matchups. So it's really, really hard to make it work for me. At least that's just my testing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree completely.
One day it'll be back. I'm excited for it. Just random. I would love to see Ruby do something. I did a video which nobody watched, where we scraped like 600 people watched. It was very sad. It took me 2 weeks to edit. But we scraped all the data from PPG Denver to find like the most played cards, the least played cards, the most played reprint, the most played new Fable card, and all that. But of course, we looked at the deck list. Out of 269 decks, how many Ruby decks do you think there were?
10?
Okay, you bracketed it. 8. There were 8. 269 decks. Ruby appeared 8 times.
It doesn't surprise me.
Completely.
There were 3 in Cardiff. Over 300 players, and there were 3.
Yep.
It's insane, mate.
But it's really rude from them,
Yeah,
they took everything.
Yeah, you're damn right.
The only really the only good card they have left is Shark, I would say. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Sisu, 3-cost Sisu or something, but it's not like the reason to play this deck.
That's exactly the thing, right? Because purple cards are so good. If the only reason to pair them with red cards is 3-cost uninkable Sisu, there's something wrong.
And it's so bad. It's so bad that they still could have some other cards and would still not see play. That's crazy. Even if they had kept like 5-cost Maui, I still think it would not be good enough.
Yeah.
Even if they kept Brawl, Brawl maybe, but it's
Medusa.
Something Medusa, Tremaine. I don't
Medusa.
know.
And the best part for me is that they like teased you with Powerline. They're like, you get Powerline. He's the first thing in Ruby. Here he is.
But no songs anymore. No, not one.
Please, Seth, can we have some songs? Yep. Anyway,
the reality is Ruby is almost nothing without B prep or Sisu. Like, if we'd have kept Sisu, then different story completely. Big Sisu, but no, like B prep is so much of the identity.
B prep would be cool with Powerline. Like you think B prep with Powerline, and then you get the, how's it called, the 6-cost Sapphire song. The new Into the Orleans and New Orleans.
Yep.
So you sing B prep, and then you get from his effect New Orleans, and then you have the only character in play because of the New Orleans. Oh
yeah.
I'm glad that's why you said it was cool, because when Powerline was first released, I saw people being like, "Yo, turn 4 B prep." And I would always think that sounds so bad. Like, that sounds like the worst thing. And you have no cards left. Yeah,
and it was so cool because
I shift my big power line. I sing big prep.
And when your reveal wasn't B prep, we already knew it isn't coming.
Honestly, that was another conversation I had so much this weekend. Like, and it's mind blowing how, just from me saying, by the way, guys, I don't have B prep, the whole community went, okay, well, it's not getting B prep. Like, just everyone just accepted it. Like, oh, well, that's doesn't it?
But your reveal was playable, at least. Or you revealed to TikTok, right?
TikTok. Fun fact: TikTok has now become my second most signed card. Literally,
nice.
It's my first playable card. Like, I've always had a card reveal. This is the most playable one I've had.
We didn't have one yet, sadly.
I have never had a playable card.
No, we neither.
Have I?
Well, Aurora Dreaming Guardian was technically in a top cut deck list this weekend.
Okay, Aurora. Yeah, Aurora. The reprint. Yes, Aurora.
In a blur pool.
I think she will.
There's the Mirror Breaker, Aurora Dreaming.
Yeah, right. I got so much. I low key from some corners of the internet, from the interwebs, got so much crap for freaking out about that reprint.
No.
And I was like, but I didn't understand, because I was like, she's one of those cards that's like on the cusp of being like really good, especially if she gets one or two good shift targets. Like, her ability is not terrible. I'm like, there's a world in which she is a popular meta card, as things change. So I'm like,
I agree.
Anyway, but that's that. All right. Thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. This is super fun. I mean, I don't know.
America, England, Japan. Hey, look at us.
This is
the whole world.
It's so cool. Technology is great. But this is probably one of my favorite episodes I've ever done. Just having you two from across the oceans, like here, chatting about various things. So, yeah, we got the whole world on the screen, says Steven in the private chat. So, yeah. Well, thank you all so much. I mean, all of you. I don't usually. I have to
like to see quickly. It's not foil. It's not foil because I came 9th. Boo-hoo. But if you'd like a look at the
hold on, everyone. Let me do this thing.
Hold on.
That's so good.
Like, hey, how is it not foil? What's that then? If it's not foil,
there we go.
It's just the.
It's not. But yeah. So it's the participation one. Like everyone will get a non-foil just for play. But yeah, I came 9th, so I haven't got my foil yet, so I'm gonna have to do some public ones.
That's so cool. I mean, we all want like alternate art, right? So like it's just so cool to get a playable card like that with an alternate.
Yeah, that's
alternate piece.
I want
hopefully it becomes more playable as time goes on.
I want a miracle in my set champions. That's way worse, I think.
Yeah.
That's the only set championship promo I don't have because I didn't care enough to go.
Yeah.
Oh, the sad thing is, it's a beautiful card. Like it's really pretty, you know.
It's just not. I need an attachment to the character, and she's lovely, and Encanto is wonderful with an amazing soundtrack. But I'm only going to go out of my way for like what I'm really passionate about. Exactly.
Yeah.
Get her out of here. If it had been the grandma, we're cooking. That's a villain right there.
Oh man.
By the way, before we log off, though, I know, I'm sure you're heading towards signing us off, Liam. But before I forget, I want to make a request.
Yes.
If you're watching live or the VOD of this, if you're going to be at, and this is to anyone and everyone, if you're going to be at Bologna or Milwaukee or indeed any of the DLCs over the next year, I would love it if you have in your bulk bin a copy of The Most Diabolical Scheme, which was my first ever reveal card. It's a 3-cost uninkable Ruby action. And I've been getting people to sign them to gift to me so I can put them all in a big binder and I'll group them by event. And then at the end of the year, we'll do a stream and we'll sort of go through it and look through and just discuss all the events and go through it memory by memory, and it'll be a nice keepsake for me. So if you're going to be in Bologna or Milwaukee, fish out some diabolical schemes for me, sign them, and I will gladly accept them if I'm going to see you at events this year. Thank you.
Nice.
What a wonderful idea! Like,
that's a great idea.
You know, Artax, I'm sure it's the same way. Like sometimes other creators come up with these ideas, and you're like, why didn't I think of that? Like that, you're like, I love that idea, Baker. Somebody clip that. I don't know how to do it, so I always say that, and sometimes it happens like magic. Yeah, so I'm like, clip that. And then sometimes people do because they're smarter than me. Anyway. All right. Well, this was a true treat. I literally could talk to you all all night, but I have to control myself because otherwise it's going to be 6 a.m. Over there, Baker, and you're going to be still chatting with us. So, I mean, everybody knows you two are more famous than this channel, so everyone knows where to follow you. But just in case, I mean, Lorcana Villain on YouTube, everybody should subscribe there. And the Artax is one of the best Lorcana podcasts.
My favorite Lorcana podcast.
Oh,
My favorite Lorcana podcast. Genuinely.
Absolutely.
I watch every episode all the way through every time.
Thank you.
And I'm really looking forward to LD making his casting debut later on in the year in Wakefield. I think that's going to be a real show, and I'm looking forward to it.
Two of the most wonderful people in one place every week. So now across the world, and somehow that makes it even better. I appreciate both of you, and I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks for hanging out with us this Monday night. We'll be back next Monday to talk about Bologna and other fun stuff. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, because it helps and it's nice, and we appreciate you. And thanks to our Patreon supporters who are out there who help pay